It's Week 11 of the National Football League. And front and center is Tyler Algier. He should be a busy man out of the backfield. It's the Condors and the Sentinels, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
As the sun starts to set, we're going to see how much light is left by the end of this early evening game here on the NFL on EA Sports. Thanks for joining us, everyone. With my partner, Brock Heward, I'm Kate Scott. And like so many matchups in the NFL, Brock, our focus goes right to the quarterbacks in this one. Both of these guys, players who've been around the league now for some time, they've definitely established themselves as veterans who know how to win football games.
Yeah, I think the word of the day, Kate, is definitely experience. Two guys who've been through the season several times over, have seen a lot at this point in their career, and been through quite a bit on the field. All that experience is stored up there right between the ears. And the one who is more skilled at leveraging that...
Time for teams to start making moves towards the postseason. Here we go. It's Week 11. Set to return. Here's Darnay Holmes. So out comes their offense for its first possession of the game. And leading them out in his 13th season out of Michigan State is Kirk Cousins.
He gave us all the excitement we could hope for last week, but it wasn't all in a good way, at least for his team. Never knew if his throws were going to end in a touchdown or turnovers, and he had a couple of both by the end of the loss. You don't want him to lose that gunslinger mentality. You just want him to be a little more thoughtful with each and every decision.
And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
Kate, don't think for a second this is time you step off the gas. You can feel this defense right there on their heels. And now's the best chance to go push the envelope and get aggressive.
On the counter, Hall. And they're able to grind him to a halt after a pickup of 4. A look at his numbers on the ground from last week here. Second and 6 coming up here. They go right back to Hall. And they'll bring him down after a pretty short gain. They pick up 1 on the run. Need more, though. That takes them to 3rd and 5. Well, as we see the names populating this injury report, partner, we recognize they've had to do some adjusting over the course of the season as key contributors have gone down.
And this, right here, this is where fan favorites and surprise superstars are born, Kate. From guys having to step in as a...
And he can escape no longer. They roam over and bring him down. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
Kate, this is one of those times and moments that even though it's been years and decades, I could still hear the great Mike Holmgren saying to me, after I tried to scramble as a QB that couldn't really run like our guy today, and he would say, "Oh, Brock, bless your heart. Oh, bless your heart." And really what he's saying is, don't ever try that again.
4th down, and on comes the punt team, and the kick's away. He calls for the fair catch and has it at the 22-yard line. So here's their offense, taking over for the first time here. They'll be led out by a guy coming off a pair of shortened seasons, the former Pro Bowler, now in his 8th year, Deshaun Watson.
And he wonders, he's about to take his first snap today. Yeah, he took care of the football last week, Kate. That was great, no interceptions. But just the 1 touchdown. Be curious if he cranks up that aggressive knob today.
Beginning on the ground with Algier. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a 1st down. Now after the run, we see some trainers headed out for an injured player who was shaken up. So the big play gets him just beyond midfield. It's 1st down. From the gun, Watson. Caught by Theo Johnson. And they get there to take him down right around the 41.
That is the epitome of staying on schedule. That kind of completion right there on 1st down. Well, it opens up the entirety of the playbook for 2nd down. And the 3rd and short in your back pocket, you can get even more aggressive and take that shot.
And they get this down to the 28. A nice gain of 13 yards as it brings up a 1st down. Working from the gun, Watson. That one's incomplete. Had the connection, but some stone hands got in the way there. Couldn't connect on first. It's second down. Sticking to the air with Watson. He's on the move. He's keeping it. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets them up with first and goal.
Man, I don't ever want to be a defensive coordinator. They do so many things right to take away the pass, and then what happens? Well, you get a quarterback that lowers his head, gashes the defense with one of the biggest runs of the game. You take away the pass, but you can't stop the QB run.
Trying to run in, Algier. And the power play up the gut only results in 2 yards.
Okay, all right. There's a little progress on first and goal. You keep it safe, you push a little closer, and now you're set up for what you want to do on second down.
And he's in, touchdown! The Condors have a great first drive and get the game's first points. Zay Flowers, the touchdown. He finds one of his great receivers, Brock, and they are off to a great start to begin this ballgame.
Yeah, it's such a positive offensively when you can go find not just a field goal, but a touchdown on that opening drive. And defensively, this starts to shake the foundation of your preparation and makes you wonder what's in store.
Extra point up and good from Bass. And the Condors will jump out to a 7-0 lead. And after they reach the end zone, they'll kick it off and turn things over to the defense. He's going to field this at the 2. And he's brought down just inside the 25 on the return. The Sentinels and receiver Puka Nacua back out to take possession. And you can see he's in chase mode, trying his best to catch the league leader in receiving. Right now, sitting in second place. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. They start the drive with Hall. And he found some running room for a nice gain. We'll get a stoppage now. Looks like we have someone banged up after that run in need of some attention. Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. Here's Hall once more. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
Kate, it's amazing how fast these guys are on the field and how fast your fortunes can turn. 2nd and short run, you're feeling good about yourself. But with a negative play, well, now comes a critical 3rd down.
3rd and just 2 to go. I'll try to run for it with Hall. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
I don't know what it is, Kate, but I love 3rd down runs. I really do. I know the receivers don't always like it because it's money down and they want the ball, but a 3rd down run for a 1st down can be so demoralizing to that defense.
And it's a nice little chunk here, 6 yards. Elandon Roberts coming over for the hit. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Changing things up, they're going to throw now. On target to his man Gage. And he's tackled with the 1st down yardage. Throwing his Cousins. That's caught. It's Breece Hall. And a solid gain there. Gets him across the 45 before he goes out.
That is a textbook 1st down completion. Sets up 2nd and very manageable and creates space to take that shot downfield.
From the 43. That's caught. Tucker Kraft. Give him 11 yards, Brock, and a fresh set of downs.
Kid, I can't tell you how good that is. Anticipating the outcut, having the ball on the way before the receiver's head even turns, he puts it on him so that receiver can easily get out of bounds for the nice gain.
Completes this one to Kraft. And they'll manage to contain him after about a 6-yard pickup. Hauled down by Christian Izzian. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Now Cousins again. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
I'm sure coach and play caller doesn't mind making the job a little bit easier. You know, play calling's a lot simpler and easier when you count on the offense to move the chains on those early downs.
Cut out left. And they get this down to the 7-yard line. That one goes for 15, and now they're going to have 1st and goal.
You want to become a quarterback's best friend? Do that. Turn a short little gain, a short little pass into some yards after catch, and that quarterback will find you again.
4 downs now to get in. Here's 1st and goal. Working inside the red zone. Has it in close. And that play is brought to a halt, they're going to say, at the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal coming up, 5 yards to the end zone. Working from the gun, it's Cousins. Finds his target, Hall. And he's able to get it to the 2 before the stop. So after that completion, we've got a player in some visible discomfort. And here come the trainers to get him some help. So now, here's 3rd and goal. Hall. And he runs it across. Touchdown. The Sentinels get it down to a single point. Breece Hall with the touchdown. A lot of pressure on him in that moment, Brock. Find a way to score. Don't let it go to 4th and goal. And he finds a way to come through and gets in the end zone for 6.
Now, how about the other side? Beating a defense right there as well. That group who was so close to pulling off the goal line stand, yet all that motivation wasn't enough to stop him on 3rd and goal.
That one right down the middle. And the Sentinels tie this game 7-7. Santos has it all teed up and ready to send this away. It's Jakeem Grant with the return. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. They're out and set, 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Watson. Flushed out of the pocket. And they get to him as he was trying to make something happen. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
Pretty even match in this first half, and you're just kind of waiting, right? You just kind of try to get a feel for which defense is going to come to life. And when you get that sack, that could go a long way to infusing some energy on that side of the ball.
Another try following the sack. Gets this to Johnson. And this one gets to the 33-yard line before it's stopped.
Quarterbacks will look for their tight end short in just about any situation. They take away the deeper options. Well, there's their consistent source of positive yardage, the trusty tight end.
He's running for it. And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
You know, that's one of those little mental Rolodex plays. Right before the snap, you know if the read isn't there, that option isn't there, you can use your legs to make the adjustment and go get the 1st down.
So that connection for a first will bring us to the end of the first. Both teams neck and neck so far. More of the NFL on EA Sports right after this. Welcome back. We're all set to start the second. Offense already out to resume its drive. They're looking at 1st down here. Headed out right. Trying to get away from the pressure, but he can't, and they drop him. Now this is the dreaded sight anytime there's a sack. He's hurting after taking that hit, and they're going to get out there to check on him. Back to the line they go. It's 2nd down. They give to Algier from the gun. And he finds space for about a 3-yard gain. A.J. Terrell making that stop. Gotta figure out this third down here. First throw for the backup now. Out to his wideout, it's a screen. And he's tackled after gaining a handful.
You know, I like the completion. You never turn down a completion. That's just not the right throw to make in that spot to move the chains.
Punt team is on now, and they get this away. So this one carries all the way to the sideline and out. No chance to make a play on that, and they'll take over at the 16-yard line. The Sentinels and Brees Hall about set to go on offense. They'll try to emphasize what worked on their last drive, which ended Brock in a touchdown. They'll start this one out with Hall. And he's brought down for a loss.
Well, he was supposed to be the one who chipped away a few and got a new set of downs started right in rhythm. Instead, he's now forced to pick himself from behind the line thanks to a great effort defensively.
We'll get forward, and that's about 4 yards. Tackle made by Ernest Jones. Let's see what they draw up on a 3rd and 7. Out of the gun, Cousins. He can't escape. He's brought down. And the defense comes through. That's going to back him up and bring up 4th down.
Kate, I wish every fan could just get the perspective on the field. When you stand on the sidelines, you realize how fast this game is. And as a QB, you've got to understand. When you get that amount of time, you've got to get rid of the ball because this game moves in a hurry.
That's taken in at the 42. And he gets his guys a few yards before they bring him down on the return. Officially a 55-yard launch. And they're going to take over possession. They send a man in motion. Watson on 1st and 10. It's caught. That's Thielen. And he drives this across midfield and down into enemy territory. 2nd and 6 coming up here. Algier running behind center. And he'll cross the 50 and start pushing onto the opposing side of the field. Give him 2 on the run. That's going to set him up with 3rd and 4. Watson now. That's caught for the 1st. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. While that play was going on, we see that one of their teammates shaken up on the play. Not quite sure what happened, but they're out there to tend to him. Still on the move, coming to the line for 1st and 10. Watson looking to throw. Escapes the pocket. Now here he goes. And he'll get this inside the 10 to the 9. That one goes for 15, and now they're going to have 1st and goal.
You know, these are the type of plays that really get an offense going. This is a chance for a QB to inspire the guys around him. Calling his own number, carrying his teammates to a 1st down on that big run. That inflates an offense, and it can suck the wind out of that defense.
And he carries it in for the touchdown. The Condors take a 2nd quarter lead. Deshaun Watson with the touchdown. Great play by the QB there, Brock. The play broke down. He didn't have much of a choice other than to escape and improvise. And in the end, turned out to be the best call he could have made.
It is such a necessary tool in today's NFL for that QB to put right in his tool belt, Kate. You know, in my day, you could be a blacksmith, right? You just do the job and stay in the pocket. Not anymore. You got to be an artist. And you got to be an artist that can create when things break down. And that's big time to get a touchdown out of it as well.
Now after the touchdown, they'll kick it back and see what the opposition can do. Return coming from the 6. He stopped on the return at the 27. The Sentinels back out on offense. Their running back headed out once again. They've got a chance to tie this up here as they trail 14-7. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Shotgun snap now to Cousins. Nakua nabs this one along the sideline. We'll head out of bounds after a small gain. Second down now, 7 to go. From the 29. Curtis Samuel's there for the catch. And that will not be enough for a first down. Here we go, third and less than a yard. They send a tight end in motion. Third down give to Hall. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a first down.
That is your old school meat and potatoes call right there. Don't even think about throwing it. Just rush it ahead and get what you need.
On first and 10, it's Cousins. Splits a couple of defenders and completes it. And he's brought down right in the neighborhood of that 40-yard line. They'll get 14 yards and a new set of downs.
That is what elite offenses are all about. Why worry about 3 downs when you need only 1? Move the chains in one play and keep driving that defense backwards.
First and 10, here's Cousins. And for the first time, one of his throws doesn't find a home. It's incomplete, but boy, what a streak he had to begin this game. So after the incompletion, here comes the second down call. Here's Cousins. Dumps it off to his running back. And he'll be brought down at about the 29. They come through with a nice gain there. Gain of 10, first down. They are throwing it again. Couldn't connect right side. It's incomplete.
They would sure love to connect on some of these intermediate throws, those chunk throws. Getting a completion like that, well, not only does it spark your offense, but it just sets you up for even more aggressive play calling.
Throw right side is caught by Samuel. And they have this down to the 11 before being marked down. That'll go for an 18-yard gain. And that gives them the first.
That's just great instincts. Go air it out on second down rather than just play conservative and run it. They hit a weak point in the coverage and don't need to worry about third down at all.
Up to the line, and they're set. First and 10. From the red zone now. And he finds him in the end zone for the touchdown. The Sentinels can tie it up in the second after cutting into the lead. Exactly the play they were looking for, Brock. They saw it, and he put it right on the money.
Yeah, it really was a perfect play. This is what it looked like in practice, but more importantly now to get it done in game time, that's what you're looking for. Amazing when it all comes together.
Santos now for the extra point. The point after splits the uprights. And the Sentinels tie things up at 14. Santos has it all teed up and ready to send this away. Bryant with this return. This return makes it up to the 25. Their offense returning to the field for another possession. And after the impressive drive we just witnessed, you gotta imagine that they are hoping to respond with something similar.
Yeah, and I don't love to use the word can't, right? But this can't be a 3-and-out for this offense right here. They got to give their defense a chance to catch their breath and turn some of the momentum in the building.
And they'll take him down at the 43-yard line. That play goes for 19 and a new set of downs. A jolt to start that drive. They're up near the 45-yard line. Here's Algier on first down. And have him gain about a handful there. Brought down by Fred Warner. Halfway there on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. They go again with Algier. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
It's got to be so demoralizing as a defense when you go up against a running back who just keeps those legs churning like a piston in an engine, and that effort's contagious. This entire offense is getting a boost when he busts those tackles.
And there was really nowhere to go there, just a small push to the 37. 8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this second down. We're at the 2-minute warning of a high-scoring game so far. My goodness. It's the Condors, lined up with a 2nd and 8. From the 37. Throw complete to Thielen. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. They get 22 on that one. And that'll give him a first down.
I think my favorite part was the magic he worked after the catch. The way he took the completion and made so much more out of it by adding all the extra yardage.
They'll keep this drive moving and come to the line for 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Watson. And the connection made in the end zone. Touchdown! The Condors get some late points and the lead. So, Brock, this offense starting to find its rhythm a bit as they finish things with a touchdown there to give them the lead.
And the key word there that you said is finish, because you want to have that mindset, even in early in the game, that field goals aren't going to cut it. So that's great work to make sure they finish with 6 points.
Bass gets the extra point to go. And the Condors break that tie and now lead by 7. Following the touchdown, they'll kick it back and see what the opposition has in store. Holmes now to return. He stopped on the return at the 27. Well, we've already seen some nice plays here, and we're going to see plenty more before this game ends. But you might be thinking, with plays like that, my guys' ratings should be better. Well, you're not alone. You got a chance to let the Madden Ratings Hotline know just what you're thinking. Give them a call, 1-844-MADDEN-1, and make your case for who should get a boost. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot. Prior to first down, they decided to call a timeout. To the air, Cousins. Tight end reels in the shallow throw. And he goes out close to that 45-yard line. Halfway to the marker, it's 2nd and 5. From the 43. This one taken in by Kraft. And he's able to move past the 45 before going out.
He's just one of those guys, Kate. Even when he's not open, he's still a target thanks to that physicality and his ability to just play bully ball. They don't like forcing into coverage, but sometimes when you got a bully like him that can create space, you just find a way to get him the ball.
Signals, and looks like we've got a timeout before that first down play. Now Cousins again. Able to hit home, complete. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They get 20 yards out of the play and move the chains. 1st and 10 now from the 30. Just before halftime, we get a timeout taken. Only time left for one more snap, Brock, so they're going to run out their field goal unit. From the left hash, this is from 47. Carney's kick is good. And it's dropped back down now to a 4-point game.
You'd expect him to make most of those attempts from this distance, but it's never a lock. So they'll happily take this and finish off the drive with points.
Well, Brock, barring the touchback, this kickoff should run out the half, so better make that return good as it's away. One last play before the break. Throwing it just before halftime. He lobs it up, looking deep to the right side. And he swats that deep shot away, but he better not celebrate just yet. Looks like his contact drew a flag. They may still get this yardage. So So halftime has to wait one more snap. That pass interference call means we've got an untimed down coming up. Amendola able to put it through. And add 3 to their lead as it extends to 7. So at our midway point, it's the Condors enjoying the lead here in Oakland. Now we'll jump from the West Coast to the East Coast, down to our studios in Orlando. Jonathan Coachman standing by with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Kate, thanks very much. More from you and Brock in a moment. But first, time for a look around the NFL to see what's going on here and what's already been an eventful afternoon of football. We just watched a strong first half from quarterback Deshaun Watson. He threw 2 touchdown passes, ran for another, as his guys have the lead at halftime. We saw a couple of high-octane offenses getting it done in the first half. Both teams had no problems moving the football. And you'd have to think, the team whose defense shows up in the second half is going to be the one who walks out of here with a victory.
On the return, here's Ray McLeod. He's stopped on the return at the 27. The Condors with their offense back out there as Tyler Algier returns to the field. They've certainly had no issue scoring, but their opponents have been right there with them, so they can really use some more points on this drive. Algier gets it on the draw. He's got to gain a 6 there. Brought down by Fred Warner. He managed 6 on the play, bringing up 2nd and 4. Algier with another carry. And he'll get it up near the 38-yard line before going down. 5 yards on that play and enough for a new set of downs. He brings the offense up now for a 1st and 10. Algier gets it on the counter. And he's going to go down right along the midfield stripe. They'll move the chains after that pickup of 12.
Now, don't think for a second they're going to slow down the tempo. Defense on their heels. And right now is the best chance to go push that envelope and get aggressive.
1st and 10. Here's Watson. And this throw's knocked away, incomplete.
I know a DB in the stat sheet loves to see INT and not PBU, but as soon as he realized a pick wasn't possible, he does the next best thing and knocks it away.
2nd down, Watson throwing again. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. That was Zay Flowers, the intended receiver. And things look tougher now with 3rd and long. Out of the gun, here's Watson. Chased out to his right. He'll make a bid for it on the ground. And he wisely avoids contact, sliding down there, and that played good enough for a 1st. They'll get 18 yards there. And it sets up 1st down.
You know, Kate, back in the day, we had a slip and slide at practice for moments just like that. Actually practicing how to slide and get out of harm's way. Nice gain on the play and denied that defense yet another chance to take a shot on him.
Slot man motioned over. Here's a give on the jet sweep. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
That's why you often see some mix, some high percentage pass plays on 1st and 10. You got to keep a defense honest. They're always looking for a run in that situation and a chance to stack them up for 2nd and long.
2nd down carry for Algier. And he'll get it down to the 24-yard line.
So much to like about that run, Kate, particularly what he was able to get out of it. The defense, I think, feels a little fortunate they were able to track him down before an even bigger run and crossing that 1st down marker.
Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
And right there's the danger, Kate, when you put the ball in the air. How many times do we see these coordinators, when you get a nice run, right, you gain some steam on the ground, you stick with the ground game. They don't, they call the pass, and the defense reacts, and reacts well with a sack.
Tyler Bass on now for the field goal try. A 49-yarder in front of him here. Amendola able to put it through. And that'll push it to double digits in a 2-possession game.
Inspiring a bunch of confidence in himself right there, Kate. Second time they brought him out for a field goal, and second time, well, he's knocked it right through. Trust is earned in a number of different ways on the field, but that's the best way to gain it as a kicker.
Has this at the 6. The tackle's made, so this drive will begin at the 34-yard line. The visitors and Kirk Cousins headed back out to the field now. And like we've seen from him before, Brock, he got a good game going early through the air and kept the pressure up from then on. He's still taking it to him now as we work through this second half. They start the half with a give to Hall. And he's only able to power this forward for about 3 yards.
Kate, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
He loses the football. Scooped up by the defense. No one around. He's got space.
You're using this play to try for a first down, but also set up whatever in your back pocket for third down. But you know what? Throw it all away. None of it matters now if you can't hang on to the doggone football. And the defense pounces on that one in a hurry.
Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. From the gun, they go with Algier. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
Sometimes the surprises work out for a nice gain. And sometimes, well, those surprises, they don't surprise anybody, and you're left hoping your running back just gets up.
Here's 2nd and 11. Bails out of the pocket quick. He tucks it and takes off. And he'll have it down to the 44-yard line.
You know, Kate, they always say that QB clock, you know what it's more like? It's more like an alarm, especially in a situation like that, and it's a good thing you woke up to it, able to make something out of nothing and at least keep them moving forward.
3rd and short, it's Watson. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose, incomplete. You go middle of the field against zone coverage, Brock. You know this firsthand. You are throwing into rush hour, and there aren't a lot of easy completions to be found in that part of the field.
Yeah, and a lot of those throws, Kate, you're signing your guy up to take some sort of hit. It's on you to protect your guys. Credit that defense for flying around and making the play.
The visitors ready for their next series, led out on offense by their quarterback. And his effectiveness hasn't been limited to what he can do with his arm this season. On that last drive, he reached a significant mark for his efforts on the ground as well. 1st down throw for Cousins. Oh, he's out of time, and they drop him. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
Never ever a great look when your quarterback's picking himself up a few seconds into a drive. They're going to need a lot more fight on 2nd down and a whole lot of yardage to get this back on track.
Hall there to haul it in. He's forward, gets a couple of yards. Jesse Bates getting up for the stop that time.
That's a defense's goal, right, Kate? Just get us to 3rd down so we can have a chance to get off the field. And that was a good adjustment on that stop in particular, when the back ended up being the target, and they were able to keep him short.
Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And the defense comes through. That's going to back him up and bring up 4th down.
That sure ended up being worst-case scenario. Pass rush just kept coming and bearing down, and he was looking for an escape that wasn't there. It's just one of those plays in hindsight, Kate, where you really got to understand, I got to cut bait, cut my losses, and avoid such a negative play.
On comes the Sentinels punter. And after that drive went backwards, he's going to send this one forward. And he finally gets a hold of one here. This is hit far. Has it at the 45. And he's brought down before the return gets far. The Condors, and this running back headed back out for a new series. And get that big old marker out. Cross a major number off his roadmap after that last drive. He's reached one of the marks that every back strives to hit at some point during the season. Here's Watson, 1st and 10. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. Back to the air, Watson. Connects with Johnson. Pickup of a few as he heads out of bounds. Let's see what they draw up on this 3rd and 7. Watson. He's on the move. Oh, he's gonna run for it. And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
As long as these are the results he's getting, they're going to be just fine with him calling his own number. He does such a good job of seeing the field and knowing when it's his time to take it himself.
They put Mooney in motion right. Now a handoff to Algier. And he's brought down for a loss.
This is one of those plays that I wish we had the huddle mic'd up, Kate, because I can assure you that offensive line in their own way is telling that running back, sorry, we did not give you any chance.
A give to Algier on the inside handoff. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
This coordinator tried to show some trust and belief in his offense. A run after a negative run? Well, you lose a lot of equity and belief in that coordinator. I don't think he's going to try a 3rd run after back-to-back negative losses.
He's throwing deep to the left side. They connect on the deep shot. And he's brought down real close to that goal line at the 1. They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets them up with 1st and goal.
One thing we don't have in football is we don't have that radar gun. But if we did, Kate, this is the kind of throw, when you throw it that deep outside the numbers, that requires a serious fastball, serious arm strength, and he just showed it off.
Algier is into the end zone. Touchdown. The Condors make it a 16-point ball game. Bass on for the extra point. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Condors take a 3-possession lead. They put a touchdown on the board, and now they'll send it away. Holmes now to return. He stopped on the return at the 27. Now this offense ready to head back out. And this game might be going better if he could have some more time just to work back there. This pass rush has been all over them. Really keeps taking this offense out of any grooves that they've managed to get into.
Okay, I like to say in life there's energy givers and there's energy vampires.
Yeah.
And for this defense, these sacks right here, they're such energy givers. And man, it's like a vampire sucking the juice out of an offense.
Yeah, I love that. Out of the gun, Cousins. Gage makes the catch. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a 1st down. Markers reset, ball at the 37. Shotgun snap, a give to Hall. And they're on him after about a 2-yard gain. He landed Roberts coming over for the hit. He gets a couple on 1st, and they'll come up 2nd and 8. From the 39. On target to his man, Gage. This is ahead for about 5. Tackle made by Ernest Jones. We'll see what they come up with for 3rd down in just a bit. We've reached the end of 3. It's not quite over yet, but it'd take a pretty miraculous comeback. We've got a 3-score game as we get set to start the fourth quarter. All plays on the table here for 3rd and 3. Looking to throw, Cousins. Finds his target, Hall. Avoids a defender. We've got a foot race. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. Working inside the red zone. Couldn't connect across the middle. It's an incomplete pass. Puka Nacua, the target on that throw. So that brings up 2nd down. This one is tipped away and incomplete. Good positioning to make a play on it. That forces 3rd down. Shotgun snap now to Cousins. He has all pressure's on him and it gets home. He's dropped. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
You know, one thing I noticed, Kate, coaching youth football, everybody wants their kid to play quarterback. That is, until they get knocked to the mat. And that's now 5 sacks in this game, let alone the number of times the quarterback's been flushed as well. Not everybody is built to play quarterback.
Cairo Santos now to try the field goal. There's a 44-yard look from the right hash. Carney's kick is good. And the gap closes to 14 points.
If they wanted any kind of shot here, Kate, to come back in this game, that field goal had to go through and make it a 2-score game. That's only the first of what would need to be several steps here in a hurry to have a chance to try to pull this out.
McLeod now returning it. Returns looking good so far. And he showed some burst on that return, getting them all the way to their own 40. Their offense running back out now. They're up by 2 scores, Brock, but we've got some time left, so they still need to mount a drive here. New slated downs to approach here from the 40. Watson on 1st and 10. He finds Johnson. And he's going to go down right along the midfield stripe. Options are open here. It's 2nd and inches. Here's a handoff for Algier. And his short gain gets them a new set of downs. 1st and 10, ball set up at the 48. A give here to Algier. And he powers through the middle for a gain of 4.
He'll expect more from himself on those type of plays, but there is nobody that's going to complain about that one. If you can do math, 4 plus 4 plus 4, for down.
Behind the line for
position of the quarterback, Kate. Sometimes you hand that ball, you put in the belly of the running back, and you send him right into the teeth of the side. Feel it from the up, and that call from the defense, well, it came at the perfect time.
And they finally bring him. That is a big downs. He picks up 28 on the play. And that'll be a 1st down.
Defense wants to take away all the reads and prevent any kind of big throw for the 1st down. Fine. Well, this QB, he'll just lower his head and gash the defense with one of the biggest runs of the game.
The drive picks up here, 1st 10. From the rim. He'll dump this one off to his running back, complete. And he has it down to the 8-yard line on the play. Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. From the gun, Watson. Has it down close. Touchdown, Vegas. Well, as they drive forward to what right now looks like it should be a win, Brock. He sure has taken advantage of a nice little chance to boost his stat line. His 2nd touchdown of the game.
Yeah, you just kind of feel these two building some trust, right? Just more and more equity, certainly paying dividends in this one, but more than likely for more games to come.
Bass on for the extra point. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Condors stretch their lead to 21. And after they reach the end zone, they'll kick it off and turn things over the defense. Starting from the 5. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. The visitors headed back out on offense. They're back, returning to the... And he'll be happy to keep letting it fly as much as he has all game. Look at these numbers. They show how effective he's been in keeping this offense. Play action now for Cousins. Caught by... And he's tackled for a short gain. Second down now, 7 to go. From the 29. Caught him deep behind the line. Oh, the ball is out! Recovered by the defense.
Well, sure, you're looking to try to get a first down on second down. You're trying to create a manageable third down, but I'll tell you what you're not trying to do, ever, is give the ball away. And that's what the offense does to the defense.
The Condors and quarterback Deshaun Watson gearing up for the next series. And as we're reminded of some of the highlights of this game, his touchdowns ranking quite high among them. We're going to see 3 of them here, and if you're scoring like that, Brock, it normally means you've had a pretty darn good game. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Throwing now, following the turnover. He'll get this complete to Mooney. And he's going to be tackled, but still all the way down to the 6. That one goes for 15. Now they're going to have 1st and goal.
From a great throw to a nice route and catch to moving the chains, there wasn't a whole lot not to like about that amazing play.
Trying to run the Algier. And he barrels it. Touchdown! The Condors put up even more points in a win. He would not be denied that close to the end zone, Brock. I think it might have taken 5 or 6 guys tackling him to keep him from diving across the line for 6.
Certainly a second effort touchdown question. The backs have become fan favorites. We've seen it through the generations, and they set for their peers are the ones who just fight through that stop. It will not be denied of a touchdown.
Bass on for the extra point. The point after splits the uprights. And the Condors continue piling on to this lead. Now after the touchdown, they'll kick it back and see what the opposition do. Holmes now to return. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. The offense being led back out by its quarterback as they get geared up for their next possession. And it just feels like he's been fighting uphill since this one kicked off today, doesn't it? The mistakes just canceling out a lot of what he's been able to do offensively on the positive end of things. This defense, man, they have seized on the mistakes and made life difficult. Drive starts 1st and 10. Working from the gun, it's Cousins. He gets this one to Nakua. Push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs. 1st down now, ball at the 39-yard line. Back to throw, Cousins. Able to find Nakua here. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a 1st down. Now it's Cousins. Racing down the left side. It's a 30-yard play, Brock, and they've got a fresh set of downs. What a spot for a big play, huh, Brock? It has him well into the red zone now with 1st and 10. Hall running between the tackles. And they love to see him fighting forward, but he only gets him 3. Second down now, 7 to go. Shotgun snap, looking to throw. Has it in close. Touchdown! Well, Brock, this one has not been good to them so far, but they are still fighting, able to get in there for 6.
Just a drive that was all about scratching and clawing. As much as anything, Kate, it was just a pride drive to go and get your job done.
That one splits the uprights. And the Sentinels cut the lead by a quarter, down now to 21. Not really much of an avenue left for a comeback in this one, but they still have to try the onside kick here. And they recover this one without a problem. The onside attempt fails. And he's going to get stopped right around the 45-yard line. Now this offense getting set to work here. And taking a look at these highlights, Brock, just a reminder of the type of game that they have had throwing the football. It really has been the key to their success.
Yeah, they've just not only stayed on schedule here, Kate. Man, they've made some music, right? Great rhythm.
Yeah.
Not just ahead of schedule, but huge plays have followed. We've seen a lot of different looks and wrinkles throughout this performance, and it's been a joy to watch.
They give to Algier from the gun. And it took a couple of guys to haul him down there after a gain of just 1. Now after the run, we see some trainers headed out for an injured player who was shaken up. They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. A give right side, here's Algier. And he's able to reach the 40 on that play. Give him 4 on that run. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Running right is Algier. And he's brought down for a loss.
Hey, range is not an optional feature for middle linebackers in today's game. It's a prerequisite for the job. And this guy definitely has it. Followed that play from the start, and he ended it with a loss.
On comes the Condors punting squad. It'll be A.J. Cole doing the honors. And this will fly out of bounds to deny a return. They're going to mark it a little before the 20. This offense and their quarterback making their way back out there, ready to take over once again. And this defense, boy, just beyond frustrated this late in the game. How's a group supposed to deal with him as a passer, Brock, and dedicate the resources needed to slow down this type of day on the ground, too? Able to hit Hall, complete.
Kate, I don't know why every once in a while I'll get these little flashbacks, but a little play like that just flashes me back to the preseason, my first preseason. When one of the veteran QBs said, hey, Brock, whatever you do, just find completions. You will never go broke taking a profit. Go get a completion. They're at a premium in this league.
And this one's dropped for what would have been a nice game. Looked like a bit of a concentration drop on that one. So they're left facing 3rd and long. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And disaster averted. He knocks away the deep ball, incomplete. Trying to force one through there. And they're going to be stuck with a 4th and long. Now Cousins again. He puts some juice on a deep throw. He's got it deep downfield. And he flips the field for them before being taken down. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete.
Oh, that drop is such a bummer because it ruins the payoff of such a well-designed play, Kate. Got the man open, beat the coverage, but then you got to go finish it. You got to go make that catch. I will say, keep that one in mind. They could revisit that play in the future.
His pass caught by Nakua. And he gets down to the 24 before he stopped. 1st and 10. Here's Cousins. Hall there to haul it in. And they get this down to the 12-yard line before being stopped. And they've got themselves another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Cousins. He's got it! And they'll get this down nearly to the end zone. Instead, stopped at the 2. Offense at the line, but they won't snap it. We've got a timeout. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game. In a good spot here, 2nd and inches. Throwing it again here. It was there, but he couldn't. Incomplete. One he knows he should have had. And now it's 3rd and short. Here's Cousins now. It's home and sticking. Great offense now as time runs down. And that one's going to be knocked away, and that's going to force a change in possession. So the defense rises to the challenge and gives the ball back to their offense.
Hey, I get it's already over, but go down swinging. Unfortunately, that play, like so many of them today, Kate, has been pretty indicative of how this contest has gone.
The home teams returning their offense and this running back to the field. They're out and set, 1st and 10. They come in on a little 2-game skid, Brock, but in control of this one so far. Tight end gets it running forward. And he's able to power this forward, but they stop at 2 yards.
Kate, that's a quick hitter, the big guy, and that's what you normally expect to see out of it. Not a huge gain, just picking up a little bit before they stall him out.
Algier running behind center. And once again, he doesn't manage much before getting brought down. Give him about 3 yards, and now they're going to have 3rd and 5 to figure out. So something to be proud of, Brock, as they come away with a win. And just a week after being soundly defeated, they're back out there playing a much better brand of football. Short memory prevailed, Brock, as they move past the loss and get back to some winning football. So for Brock Eward, our incredible crew, everybody here at EA Sports, I'm Kate Scott signing off. We'll see you next time. It's a win for the Condors as we say so long from Oakland.